got to the end of your 4th round, we are going to join with a slip stitch. And it's a good idea at this point to just check you've got the right amount of trebles along each side. So in between each of your 2 corner spaces you should have 10 trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. With 4 of them being the front post trebles here. So if you've got that along each side, then we should be on track. So let's slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch not into the first stitch of your 2nd treble, but we're going to enter into the standing treble, which is just about here. Like so. So we're in the top of the standing treble. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through there. So that's your slip stitch to join it. Now we're going to chain 1, and then we're also going to do a DC into that same space where we've joined. So we've joined there, so we're going to do a DC, and then we're doing a DC into where you would normally work into that next treble. So we've got 2 trebles there. So now what we're going to do is we are going to work 1 treble into the corner space, 1 DC, 2 chain and 1 DC. There we go. So we've worked 2 DC and then just worked into the corner. We're going to work 1 DC into each one of these stitches to this corner here. So the first one, remember the stitch lies just to the right of the post, so it's here. And then DC all the way along. And then we're going to do into this corner what we did here. 1 DC, 2 chain, 1 DC. So we're going to do that all the way around. So we need another DC into each one of these 10 trebles. 1 DC, 2 chain, 1 DC into the corner. DC into each of these trebles. 1 DC, 2 chain, 1 DC into the corner, and 1 DC into each one of these trebles, remembering that we've already worked 2 of the DCs on this corner here. So we only want to work 8, because we've got 10 trebles along here. We've already worked 2, so we just want to stop there. Okay, so I'll see you when you get to that point. So now that we've got to the end of round 5, I thought I'd just show you with these stitch markers here how to count your stitches. I've put them in the 2 chain space, and we should have 12 stitches in between each of the stitch markers. So if you count from here, this is your first stitch that's in your corner space. So we're counting this little V that's just to the right of the post. So that's 1. We're counting these little V's along the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then to this marker here, so that's the stitch that's in your corner space. So to the right of that is the little V that we're counting. 1, 2, 3. So we've got 9 from the corner to where we finished, and then 3 along here to the next corner space, which is 12. Okay, so now you can count that from each corner space. Make sure that you've got 12 DCs in between. So now we're finishing off this row. We are going to join with an invisible join. So pull the tail through. Then we're working into that first DC, not the chain, the first DC that we made. And we're going into that stitch how you would normally go into a stitch, picking up that V, so you've got them a little V there. Getting the tail, grabbing the yarn and pulling it through that stitch to the front. So we've made this loop here. Then that very last DC that we did here, we're going to go from back to front through the back of that loop like so. Just picking up that back loop from back to front, and then we're picking up the tail and pulling it through to the back. And that's a really good example of how your join becomes invisible. It looks just like the row of the other stitches. So I'll just pull that apart for you to see there. That's the loop that we've made. And then when you pull it, it looks just like a normal stitch. Okay, so now we've completed round 5. We can grab our grey yarn and move on to round 6. We are going to join our yarn to any chain 2 corner space with a standing half treble. So very much like the standing treble, we're going to secure the yarn like so and wrap the yarn around about 3 times. Then we can enter the stitch, keeping the yarn to the back, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 3. So that's your first standing treble, half treble, sorry. Now we're going to put another 2 half treble into the corner. You can get rid of that. That's 2, and 1 more. There we go. So that's your corner complete, 3 half treble into that corner. And now we're going to do a back post half treble. We're going to put 1 around each of these 3 DC. So we're going to start by yarning over, and instead of entering around the back of the stitch from the front, we're going to enter around the front of the stitch from the back. So we're going to put our hook into that chain 2 corner space from the back, and we're going to go around the front of that first DC like so. So the post of that DC ends up on the back and the hook is on the front. Now we're going to yarn over and pull through around to the back of the work like so. So you've got your 3 on there, yarn over, pull through 3. You can see the top of that DC has ended up at the front of the work and the half treble has ended up at the back. So we're going to do it again, yarn over. So we've worked around this DC here, so now we're going to be working around this one. Around the front of it to the back, pull the yarn through, right round to the back, yarn over, pull through 3, and again into this next one. Around the front, grab the yarn, pull it from the back, around the front, right round to the back, and pull through. So there are your 3 back post half trebles. So now we're going to do a front post double treble into the front post trebles from round 4. So yarn over twice, and as normal go around the back of that treble for a front post treble, and yarn over and pull through 2, 3 times, yarn over twice into that next front post double treble from round 4, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So that makes it a really long stitch, as you can see, and it needs to be long to reach from round 4 over round 5 up to round 6. Okay, so now we've got 2 back post half trebles to do over the next 2 DC. So first we're going to make sure that we're missing the stitches that are behind these front post double trebles. So bring them forward. We're missing 2 V's. We don't want to use that one or that one, so we're going into this one here. Yarn over, enter from the back, round the front of that DC, grab the yarn, pull through to the back, and pull through 3. and again into the next one. There we go. And now we're wanting another front post double treble around the next 2 front post trebles from round 4. And again, yarn over twice. There we go. And now we're wanting another, to match this side, we're wanting another 3 back post half trebles. So yarn over, pull them forward, we're missing that one and that one, them 2 V's there, we don't want to work into them, and we're going into here. Yarn over, around the back, around the front of that next one. And the last one. So you're finishing in that chain 2 corner space. There we go. So now we're wanting to make this corner the same as that, so 3 half trebles into that corner. Then we're going to do the same as we've done here along here, so 3 back post half trebles around the next 3 DC. There we go. And now 2 front post trebles around, front post double trebles around the next front post trebles from round 4. Like so. And pulling it forward, missing them 2 stitches, yarn over, back post half trebles around the next 2 DC. There we go. And then we want another 2 front post double trebles around the next 2 front post trebles from round 4. And then to match here, we're wanting 3 back post half trebles, pull it forward, missing them 2, so I wanted to go into here. 1, 2, and your hook's ending in that 2 chain space there. There we go. Now we want 3 half trebles into the chain 2 space. So now you can see what the other 2 sides need to look like to match these 2. Okay, so if you work the same, your 3 back post half trebles along here, front post double trebles into these 2 here, 2 back post half trebles into the 2 DC here, 2 front post double trebles into the 2 front post trebles from round 4, and your 3 back post half trebles into the corner space, and then you've got your 3 half trebles into the corner space. So if you work the same along here, and I will see you when you get to this point here. So now that we've finished round 6, we should have 12 stitches in between each of the 3 half treble corner stitches. So we should have 3 back post half treble stitches, 2 front post double treble, 2 back post half treble, 2 front post double treble, and 3 back post half treble, with your 3 half treble in each corner. So if you've got your 16 stitches in between each of your corner stitches, we should be on track. So now we can join with a slip stitch. So we're joining with a slip stitch to the top of that first standing half treble. So I'm going to go in here and join with a slip stitch. Then we are going to do a chain 1 and 1 DC into that same space where we've just joined. There we go. And now we're wanting to do 3 DC into the next half treble. That's your corner stitch. 1, 2, 3. So we've got the 3 in that corner and the 1 DC that we started with. So now we're going to put 1 DC into each stitch to the next corner. So it will be 1 stitch, which is your last one in that corner, and then 1 DC into each of the back post half trebles, which we had 3 of. There we go. And now we'll be putting 1 DC into each of the front post double trebles. 1, 2, 1 DC into each of the back post half trebles, 1 DC into each of the front post double trebles, 1 DC into each of the 3 back post half trebles. 1, 2, 3. Then it'll be 1 DC into that first stitch in the corner space. There we go. And then we're putting 3 into that very centre stitch. 1, 2, 3. So that's what we need to do around each of the other corners. 1 DC into each stitch to that very corner space where you put 3 DC. Same along here, 3 DC into that corner, 1 DC into each stitch to here, and I'll see you when you get to that point. So now that we've finished round 7, I've placed a stitch marker in the 2 corner DC. So the 3 DC that you were putting into the corner half treble, into that middle DC of the 3 that you've put in, I've marked it, and now we're going to count in between the stitches. So we're not counting the stitch that the marker is in, and we're counting the little V's in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that should be the same on each corner. If you've got your marker in the corner and you're not counting it, you should have 16 stitches in between. So that would be 68 stitches in total. Okay? So now we can finish off this round with an invisible join. So as normal, cut the yarn, pull up the tail with the hook, insert your hook into the first DC, so not the chain 1, the first DC, into the stitch as normal. Grab the yarn, the tail, and pull it through to the front, inserting your hook from the back to the front of that very last DC that you did, just picking up that back loop like so. Grab the yarn and pull it through to the back, and that has made your invisible join. So now that we have completed round 7, we need to make another 7 of these squares, and we need to make another 8 in this colourway as well. So when you've done that, I'll see you for the next part of the Ross blanket.